going to analyse that for you with our foreign affairs commentator, Doug Herbert. Doug, worrying comments then from Zelensky here?
Yeah, but I just want to start with a little bit of good news for the Ukrainian forces. According to the Institute for the Study of War, Russian forces, Ukrainian forces appear to have repelled a Russian battalion-sized mechanized assault near Avdiivka. You'll remember Avdiivka is the town that Russians ousted Ukraine from. Ukraine had to retreat from it to strategic positions. Well, it seems that a mechanized assault was repelled. It involved dozens of tanks and infantry vehicles. And what the Institute for the Study of War, which is a reference in the study of this war in particular, says that it demonstrates that Russia does not right now have the operational reserves, or at least they seem to be too degraded to, at least in the short term, mount any effective offensives further westward, at least in the short term. So that's the news out of this weekend. But you're absolutely right. I want to show you what Zelensky said. Everything else does not look good for Ukraine. U.S. aid is really, the delay is really diminishing its air defenses, its umbrella. If there's no U.S. support, he said to the Washington Post, it means we have no air defense, no Patriot missiles, no jammers for electronic warfare, no 155 millimeter artillery rounds. It means we'll go back, retreat step by step in small steps. That's not mincing your words. Let me go on to one more. We have one more little quote for you from that interview. He said, so in addition to all that, we're trying to find some way not to retreat. This is Zelensky again. We've stabilized the situation because of smart steps by our military. If you're not taking steps forward to prepare another counteroffensive, Russia will take them. That's what we learned in this war. If you don't do it, Russia will do it. Zelensky is being extremely blunt. He's essentially throwing his hands up saying, we need the U.S. aid. Europe cannot fill the breach, cannot fill the gap. Without that aid, we are going to have to strategically retreat, both in order to secure our front lines, that is Ukraine's front lines, and to conserve ammunition. There's no other choice.
So where are we then with the U.S. Congress? What's still blocking it?
What's still blocking it right now is a man named Mike Johnson. He is the hardline, very Republican, pro-Trump Speaker of the House of Representatives, who, a little bit like Netanyahu in Israel with his extremely far-right coalition, even further to the right than he is, this man, Mike Johnson, is facing an even harder right caucus of Republicans in his own party that are absolutely refusing under any circumstances to send this aid through. Now, the votes would be there. The Senate's already passed the Ukraine aid. The House has the votes. The problem is Mike Johnson isn't bringing it to the floor. He's right now facing an impeachment, possible impeachment motion by one of his very hardline members of his party, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not likely to happen for now, and she's holding her cards close to her chest. But the very fact he's facing that harder right faction, the Republican Party, is keeping him in check. That said, New York Times is reporting, citing its own sources, that Mike Johnson has privately been telling people that he would like to be able to bring that Ukraine aid to a vote to the floor. Privately, he thinks he may be able to do it. He's on a very delicate tightrope between that harder right majority that would like to remove him as House Speaker and just do away with him, and other Republicans of the party, even MAGA and pro-Trump Republicans, who don't want more chaos in the leadership of their House and want to find some sort of solution to a way to bring this vote to the floor, albeit on their own terms, perhaps by having a package with some of their own measures in it that would be more palatable to most of the party. So he's on a tightrope, but that's the word this morning, that he would like to be able, privately saying, would like to be able to get that aid to Ukraine.
Doug Herbert, our international affairs commentator here on France 24.